Hi, this is Candace and welcome to my mess. I'm doing a swap with Loretta and it is for hand-dyed seam binding. We're coloring 5 different sets and they will be, each set is the following: 1 set of winter, 1 set of spring colors, 1 set of summer colors, 1 set of fall colors, and 1 set of greens, of course. And then we're supposed to package them nice, and the sets will be 2 different colors of 2 yards each. So those 5 sets of 2 different colors, 2 yards each, will be 20 yards. And so I made 2 sets of everything. I made 2 of everything so that I could have my own, because I'm out of colored seam binding, and I just put mine in this jar. So here they are. It's amazing how much seam binding will fit into a jar. So here are the 2 greens, and most of these have been sprayed with either Delusions or Lindy's or Adirondack sprays. These are the Delusions in 2 different greens, and then these are the Adirondacks in 2 different greens. So you can see it's almost like a little bit of a tie-dye effect. It gives you a little bit of fun texture. I did some extra green because I like green. And those are the greens. And then the spring colors I actually took pink seam binding and sprayed it with Lindy's pink, Cosmopolitan pink. So I just added pink and a little bit of shimmer, and you can see that there's a bit of texture there, some different, you can see the different pinks. And then this one, which is very light, I mean it's so light I almost couldn't get it to take the color. This is Milled Lavender Distress Ink. And I ended up having to put it right on the mat and hold it on the mat and pull it through like that. And it did finally take the color. It's extremely light, but it really did turn out pretty. And so those are the spring colors. And then the winter colors are this one. And I took some of the Lindy's and I just sprayed it from a distance so that it would make these little droplets. So I wanted it to be sort of like an icy white and blue, snowy white blue. And so that's one of the winter colors. And then the other winter color I did sort of like a vintage, and I did tea dye and a little bit of walnut stain and a little bit of vintage photo. You can see there was a little bit of red on the mat. So lesson learned. Make sure your mat is really clean if you're doing a bunch, and in between make sure the mat is completely clean before you do more. So this one is sort of a vintagey brown, and I think in the winter a lot of things sort of turn brown, so I thought this was an appropriate winter color. And then for summer we have this sky blue. This is actually done with Lindy's, and this is Blue Hawaiian Blue and Blue Forget-Me-Not, something like that. And so it has a little bit of a texture, or 2 different colors, and you can see the shine in that, like the extra shine, because those are the Starburst sprays with the shine. And then for the other summer color I did this green, and this is my very favorite color of Distress Ink, and this is Bundled Sage. This is not two-toned, it's just a single tone of green, and I love this color. This is my favorite Distress Ink color, Bundled Sage. And then we have the fall colors. I did do, before I get on to that, I did do this one. This was my original blue winter color, but as you can see there was a little bit of red on the mat still from the previous, and so I'll use this. It won't go to waste, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it, so I will just keep that one. And then the fall colors, we have 2 yards each of this orange and multi-toned orange, and I did this with the Adirondack sprays. So there's that pumpkin and just the lemon yellow, lemon zest, and some of the red hot pepper, just a little bit of that. But I love that. That's one of my favorites because I love the fall colors. And then this other one, I used the cranberry colors in the Adirondacks along with some of the Delusions because I wanted that sort of remind me of cranberries for the fall. So those are the ones that I did, and that's my set, and I'm just going to stick them right back in there. Love that. And then, so we were supposed to package them nicely, and I'm not completely finished, but here are the greens, and I will put these in a little bag or something. Here are the spring tones, and I put a little dangle on there and this flower on top of this wooden spool, and all I did was poke it through and bend these up so she can take this off. It's not attached permanently. And this is just an earring that I think she could use on something. It's really pretty and I think it just goes with this. Anyways, so there's the spring. The winter I have are right here, and I put these on 2 different little spools, 2 yards each, and I just put some flowers through, and again they had stems on them that I could just bend around, so she can take those off and use them. That's what's she can reuse those. So super cute little teeny spools, just fun. And then here's the fall ones, and I used one of these larger spool and just tied some of this eyelash trim through the hole and tied it around again. It can be taken off and used. So there's the fall. And then the summer one, I made this, seem to have lost something here. I made this, what they call a fairy wand, and it's got just some bling and trim, and this was an old earring, so there's that, and then just a couple of little stick pins on there. So there is my goodies for the swap, and I also need to add, we're also swapping a couple of additional items, some other trims that are non-traditional, non-seam binding trims. So I'm going to put together, it was supposed to be at least 2 yards, but I'm going to do a little bit more than that. I think I'll do a few extras for her. So fun swap. I had a really fun time making these and putting this together, and really, really fun swaps. So I have 4 yards of seam binding here, and I'm going to do, I've got this little silicone thing so I don't have to get ink all over my hands, or at least minimize it. So how I get it to be a little bit like tie-dye is I spray some on each side. So it's sort of just all together, and then I'll spray this on this side. This is a dark one. And this on this side. And maybe I need a little bit of lighter stuff too. I'm going to go ahead and use some of this Delusions to lighten this up because it's very, very dark. And I usually don't have a lot of excess, and then I'm going to actually spray a little bit of this Perfect Pearls on here just to give it a tiny bit of shimmer throughout in places. So you can still see that there's white spots, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak all of this up in. I don't waste any of it. I don't end up with any extra when I do this. You could also thin it out and spray it with water. If you want to have some water in a spray bottle on hand, you could thin it out with that. Check out this. I'm going to spray this with just a little bit of this. can see there's a little bit of white there. And I'll just rub that in, and if there's not enough on the mat, then I will just spray a little water to make it a little bit more. So this one's going to be dark, and it'll be nice to see how it comes out when I finish. So that's how I do it. That's how I get the multicolors, is I just separate it and spray half and half, and then sort of mix it together. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.